Good evening, City of Tracy. I'm your host, Raj Singh, and I have my co-host, Gurtej Atwal, along with me on this wonderful episode that we're doing today with City of Tracy staff and Tracy Law Enforcement and Tracy Unified School District. This is month of November, and as we all know, month of November around this year, it's the year, the time of festivals. We have Thanksgiving coming up, we have Christmas coming up, and overall November is it's a beautiful. It's the starting of winter, fall together, great season, right? So today, why we are here together? The number one reason, first of all, is to recognize the community that I belong to and Gurtej belong to, Sikh community. So California declares month of November as a Sikh awareness and Sikh heritage month, as per the Assembly Assembly Concurrent Resolution 195, which was proposed and recognized by Assembly Member Ash Cholera from District 27th. So that is what this significance of month of November in the for the people living in the United States from the Sikh community. And overall, the main primary focus and our talk and topic for today is the diversity and inclusion. Talking about diversity and inclusion, I feel it plays a huge role from a small firm to a big firm, from a small city to a big city, and overall in the entire country. And talking about diversity, I think I would like to start off by sharing my personal story, how I can relate to how diversity plays a beautiful role in everybody's life. I'm not born here. I was born back in India. I moved here on a foreign student visa. I came here for studying. I am a proud graduate from San Jose State. And today, if I'm speaking about diversity, it's only possible in this country. I don't know if anything can be done similar can be done in any other country that would give you this platform to talk about diversity. Why is that? Because I was given the same opportunity and same sort of resources that everybody else was provided in this country. So that's what makes it wonderful. That's what makes it beautiful, that we all openly, with our open arm and open heart, welcome diversity. And it plays a huge, vital, imperative role overall to make this world beautiful, this country beautiful. And that's why we are proud to call ourselves Americans, that we are the land of dreamers and we welcome everybody who come and shine here. So that's my statement on it, and I would like to hand over to Gurtej. So let us get moving into our show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Raj. And first of all, I want to thank our city manager, assistant city manager, police chief, our HR from the HR department, Kimberly, and Brian McDonald from our Parks and Rec department, and superintendent and assistant superintendents from Tracy Unified School District. Tracy, as a city, it does have multiple programs in its department which acknowledge the diversity in the city of Tracy. If we talk about the diversity, diversity is not just on the basis of the race or ethnicity, it is on the basis of age, the citizenship, we have veterans, we have economic or the wage differences, the employment opportunities, we have different occupations, then people with different educational backgrounds, and some lives in their own houses, some rent those, then some have some basis on their health. We have the diversity in that too. So City of Tracy, with their different departments, do multiple initiatives to diversity, to acknowledge that diversity, to strive towards a better environment for the society in this diverse and make them inclusive in the City of Tracy. So now in today's conversation, we will request one by one to different departments. So what kind of initiatives they have in place for the diversity, and what are their expectations from the city of Tracy citizens? How they can participate with those departments, how they can help those departments to acknowledge the diversity and this inclusiveness. So I'll start with our chief, police chief. I'll request him to please introduce himself to the audience, and please let us know what kinds of programs do you have and what are your expectations from the citizens of Tracy.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Sekou Millington, your chief of police. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And happy Sikh Awareness Month, or more clearly, Sikh Heritage Month. This is really near and dear to my heart. So bear with me for a second. I share a quick story. I think, Raj, you inspired me to share a little bit about my background. Some of you know this from my swearing in, but for those in the Sikh community who don't know, I actually have probably more in common with you and your community than I have differences. So I was born in Georgetown, Guyana in South America. So I was not born here in the United States. I became a citizen in my early teens and understand the challenges with being from a different country. I spoke with a dialect as a child and had to work extra hard to enunciate things and really strive in school. And I grew up in Brooklyn, probably the most diverse community in the country. You talk about nationalities and differences, you find a different sort of country every couple of blocks that you go, right? I mean, you talk about diversity. That's how I grew up. So diversity, inclusion, this is in my blood. This is in my family. It's who I am more than what I do here as the chief of police. So understand how deep my roots go when it comes to diversity and inclusion. Where I come from, Georgetown, Guyana, half the population is East Indian and half are Afro, African heritage. It's almost a 50-50 split. So I actually have cousins that look Indian. Some of them actually moved up here and live in Southern California. But moving forward a bit about how close I am to this community, some of my staple foods, think about this: curry chicken, curry goat, roti, puluri, things that sound familiar to you. These are things that my mom and my aunts make. So like I said, I have a lot more in common than you know. Moving forward about the department. So I came here late January, early February, and not too long after I joined the police department, COVID hit. And so I was so looking forward to these amazing community events that I heard so much about, that I'd done research on, and I had not been able to really get involved in them because we had to consider social distancing. But I will tell you, one of the first things I did when I got here was start to meet the community members, community leaders, and one individual reached out to me, Jazz Singhal, who you might all be familiar with, and she actually took me around to the various Sikh members of the community, the different businesses, and introduced me, and I started dialoguing, understanding what the challenges were, understanding how we can be a better community, because your Tracy Police Department is a part of this community. We're not any different from any other ethnicity or group in this community. We are this community. Most of my officers live in this community. And so I thought that was very eye-opening to be able to go out and meet just about everyone in about a half of a day, as much as I can do. And it gave me an early insight into the level of diversity and the amount of the richness and diversity here in the city of Tracy. And so I got an early invite to, I believe it was a 9/11 event that ended up not moving forward again because of the social distancing aspect and the fact that we couldn't meet in groups. But I was looking forward to additional invites. And so I made myself available, not only to the members of the community that I met, but also to Jazz, who seemed to be very involved, very ingrained in the community. So fast forward, I started thinking about the different levels of training that we need here to ensure that we are being inclusive and considering diversity and considering the different cultures here in the city of Tracy. One of the training programs that I was able to actually locate, I found it was a friend of mine trained it, a captain from the Alameda County Sheriff's Department, and it was a cultural diversity with an introduction to cultural humility course. It's a certified course, and I was able to connect that course with my newly developed professional standards and training division, because I saw a need to enhance our training here at the police department. So we actually are expected to have that training here first quarter of next year. But I'll add to some of the training that we have. We have developed a more robust de-escalation training that speaks to how we engage with different members of the community, how we communicate with them, how we listen before acting, slowing things down, because we have such a diverse community, whether it's the Sikh community, the Hispanic community, the African American community, the Asian community. We want to make sure that we understand, first of all, what we're walking into, the differences in the culture, and how to best communicate so that we have a situation where things escalate, right? The idea is to de-escalate those things. We have had here procedural justice training, phase 1. And again, that's just an enhanced training on fairness and inclusion, being honest when you're having conversations, giving people a voice. That's the biggest thing, right? When it comes to cultural awareness, cultural sensitivity, sometimes we don't understand the intricacies of culture, different cultures. And so we want to be able to hear people, as opposed to the way I was trained as a young officer. And I think the way academies generally train is to get on scene and have a command presence, to control the scene and make sure we know what's going on and who's going where and what they're doing. Sometimes we've got to step back and slow down a little bit and understand that that might be a problem in a particular community when you go there and do that. And so some of the other training, we have mandated racial profiling training. That's actually a post-certified training that we have to post as the professional, police officer standards and training here in California. We're mandated to have that training every 5 years. So that's a mandate alone, but we want to go above and beyond that. We don't just want to do just enough, right? We want to do a little bit more. So my professional standards and training division is actively looking at different levels of training to bring that level of awareness to our officers and to engage more with the community. What I would offer is, as we develop this training and we dialogue, Mr. Gurtesh and Raj, that I have members of the community come and help to educate my department. Part of our plan going into 2021 is to hold lineup briefings where we can be a little bit more, short blocks, 30 minutes, no more than an hour, because we want to get out into the field, obviously, and get calls for service done. But I want to make sure that the different diversities, the Hispanic community, our African-American community, our Asian community, come to our lineups, provide these trainings, whether it's individual or mixed in some of these cultural awareness classes that we're going to be bringing here to the Tracy Police Department. So that's what I would ask of you. If you have people who are trained and who are willing to participate in that, to reach out to me. I will connect them with our training commander, and we will have that as part of our curriculum on how to be more involved with our community, how to hear from them directly. And I think that will help in this growth, right, of inclusion. Let me talk a little bit really quick. I know I don't want to take up all the time here. We are also on a heavy recruiting campaign where we want to reflect our department. Our department needs to reflect our community. And so we have recently hired a consulting firm, Epic. It's Epic Productions. And over the next 2 months, they're going to be putting together an absolutely amazing recruitment video to talk about the level of diversity here in the police department and reach out to members of the community so that we can reflect what our community looks like and what we're trying to hire. I'll go one step further. So I've been going out to my officers, emphasizing the need to continue recruitment. We're our best recruiters. We know best the quality of character we want to our left and our right when we're in the field. And so here recently, we had a young officer from Stockton come down to help us in a translation. The young gentleman spoke Punjabi. One of my really experienced officers said, hey, we're hiring, right? Now, this is what we're messaging. We want our officers recruiting a diverse lot of folks to come join the police department. The young man put in his application and we interviewed him on Tuesday. So my hope is that we can now grab him, bring him onto the police department and continue to engage Raj and Mr. Gurtesh, that we continue to tap into resources where we can come and have discussions with the community, let them know what the police culture is like, and hopefully continue to recruit them. So I am very hopeful that we will actually have this young man here. He's very eager. I'm very eager to have him, and he's very eager to be here. So those are some of the, one last thing. In general, about cultural diversity, some of the things we engage in, we actively participate in the Juneteenth celebration here in Tracy, as well as the Mexican Independence Day event here in Tracy. We have a lot of great photos on Facebook if you take a look. And then we last year participated in this Sikh Heritage Month, and we will continue to participate as long as you invite me, and then any other event that you have. So I think I've taken up enough time, but I'm going to be here for a few more questions, and then I'm doing a ride along tonight in our beautiful Tracy. So I'll be here for a few questions if you have any. Hope I didn't take too much time.
No, thank you so much, Chief. We appreciate all the personal story that you shared and your vision and the kind of engagement and activities that you are bringing to this town. So we're very thankful, and thank you so much for providing the insight. We really appreciate it. Now, just kind of moving through our show, to keeping in mind in time, I would like to reach out to now our HR Director, Kimberly. Kimberly, please, you share your thoughts and vision regarding the diversity and inclusion with us, please.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Kimberly Murdaugh, Human Resources Director for the City of Tracy, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight. And honestly, I think the Chief stole most of my thunder, so thanks, Chief. Really, what our HR department is focused on, beyond a compliance piece, is a training, an awareness, really an opportunity to shape the culture, and that includes reflecting all of us. So whether that's in our training efforts, which does include our mandatory harassment, discrimination, retaliation training. For the past several years, we've participated in unconscious bias, implicit bias training, which brings, again, awareness in terms of some of those biases that we may not even recognize, but also in terms of broadening the conversation from a global perspective down to our organization. We're talking about starting what some organizations might call an employee resource group, or opportunities to have candid conversations, open conversations within some parameters and guidelines to be able to discuss perceptions and the way that we send and receive messages around communication. I think it's important to know how our experience and our cultures and our backgrounds affect everything that we do and what we bring forward to the organization. And I think it's our opportunity to celebrate those differences and find out how those can be a complement, not only to the organization, but to the community. I think it's incredible that some of the efforts that Chief is making, and we're supporting him in the recruitment efforts. But our opportunities to reach out to the community and find out, hey, community, when we are trying to announce or recruit for certain positions, talking about City of Tracy as being an employer of choice. We are an incredible organization. We have an incredible leadership team. Thank you to our leaders, especially on this call. But we are an employer of choice, and our desire is to reflect to reflect the community we serve. So word of mouth advertising is the best way to talk about not only the benefits of working for local government, but serving this community. So ways that we can do that, information from citizens can be helpful. Also, we're looking at, somebody made a comment that, that we don't celebrate enough holidays, and I am all about doing that. So let me know what else we can celebrate. I can plan a party for that. But I mean, if they're just like Chief mentioned Juneteenth, there are holidays and celebrations which are important, which may not necessarily be memorialized with a City of Tracy recognized holiday. However, I have a health and wellness team that one of their key initiatives and focus is to talk about wellness aspects of our employees. And one of those is celebrations of holidays and important events that are meaningful to them. And that's just another way that we can, again, highlight and celebrate who works for us, and potentially reach out to candidates who are not working for us yet, to show them that inclusion is a huge part of what we are and what we want to be. And that's one of the effects that makes us an employer of choice. So we're hoping that helps us in those recruitment and retention efforts.
Thank all the departments for their valuable time. It was a very valuable discussion. So we had multiple questions, but I'm pretty hopeful that most of the questions were answered based on what kinds of programs different departments had, and citizens, they wanted to learn more about different departments that the City of Tracy has. So now I'll request those citizens also, after this conversation, they will definitely have the follow-up questions. So please send those follow-up questions to us. We will definitely send them to the departments for further clarification. And as the city manager Jenny has mentioned, we will definitely, based on the need, we will request the city management to have the follow-up discussions. So with that, I'll end this discussion. Thanks again. Thanks all for watching, and thanks everybody for your time.